Hi, I'm Kim. I'd like to share a little bit about some part of narrative therapy that can be very helpful without needing to go into every other corner of this interesting therapeutic approach. And that is for the counsellor to become aware of the stories the client is telling about themselves. Because as we know, often the stories of doubt or self-criticism, they're related to stories that were told about them often from childhood and not objective reality, or if you like, 100% part of their lives. So often we're interested in narrative therapy to look at that little 5% of the stories being told in the session where something's told that's in opposition to the general story of, self-hate, self-doubt, and those kind of things. So what we're really trying to do in narrative therapy is build up a sense of the stories people tell about themselves. And where possible, what we're wanting to do is unpack the congruence of that story with actually their lives now. So in childhood, often there's a parent that is critical and another is more accepting. And, as children growing up, we believe what parents tell us. We were told about the Easter Bunny, and for a while we believed it. So if a parent says to us, you could try harder, why don't you step up a bit like your big sister and help around the house, or so on. And all those implications about our self-worth and our identity, they're kind of pretty strong. We learn the language of who we are from the words used by important people in our lives, like grandparents, parents, teachers, older siblings. But there comes a time as an adult in particular where you can look with the benefit of the front cortex of the brain objectively at how your life is actually panning out. And in narrative therapy, that's what we do. We help our clients to actually look at what's the reality of our life. And often it's not 100% they're self-doubting themselves, or 100% they're lazy, or they can do nothing about their problem of anxiety. And we usually find this, there's other stories or moments in their lives. We call them unique outcomes, and they become the beginnings of this alternative story of the way the client sees themselves. And just as a parent might have had confirmation bias, they were looking for every time that child was lazy. And so, what we do in narrative therapy is we're kind of teaching the client really to shift the confirmation bias to those times when we can get something done and that we can feel comfortable about ourselves, or give ourselves a break and put our feet up and appreciate the self-care and self-compassion that maybe the client's not been able to give themselves. So, we're inviting the client to tell more stories about the opposite of what has been some kind of conditioned perspective of their identity. I hope you found this helpful.